How's it going, everyone, and welcome back to another video. So the Booster Course Pass was recently announced for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and I have to say I'm pretty excited. It looks like we'll be getting tour graphics, so that's a bit disappointing, but I still think it's amazing that by the end of next year we'll have nearly 100 tracks in one Mario Kart game. So I decided to predict the remaining 40 tracks of the Booster Course Pass. For half the tracks from Mario Kart history will be in this game, so this is probably like the ultimate Mario Kart. We already know of Wave 1 consisting of the Golden Mushroom and Lucky Cat Cup, which will include Tour Paris Promenade, 3DS Toad Circuit, N64 Shoko Mountain, and Wii Coconut Mall, and the Propeller Cup, which will include, or not Propeller, Lucky Cat Cup, which will include Tour Tokyo War, DS Shroom Ridge, GBA Sky Garden, and Tour Ninja Hideaway. Starting with Wave 2, I think the Turnip Cup will include Tour New York Minute, following the trend set by Wave 1 of a city track starting each cup, GC and Dino Jungle. This track could be really lit up. It's a great one. It's in Tour and Mario Kart 7, which seems to be where most tracks are coming from, so I think it's pretty likely. Wii Maple Treeway, I hope it looks how it did in Wii and 7, not in Tour, because the colors are just not great in that game. But I think it'd be a great one to add and end off the cup with 3DS Wario Shipyard. It's a unique theme. We don't really have a track like it in the game already, except maybe Neo Bowser City, but that's still a lot different. I think it'd be an interesting one to have. Then we have the Propeller Cup. I have Tour Sydney Sprint because I think this will be like a summer wave, so they add some summer courses. Koopa Beach 2 for the same reason, and it's just a nice one from the SNES to add. DS Luigi's Mansion. This one looks great. There's not really any updating they can do to it. It already looks amazing. And GBA Bowser Castle 3, in my opinion, the best Bowser Castle from the Game Boy Advance games. I think it'd be really cool to see this one. Now we have Wave 3. I think this will be around December. Starting with the Rock Mushroom Cup, we have Tour Vancouver Velocity. This track has amazing music, and it's just a really fun one to play on, one of my favorites from Tour. SNES Vanilla Lake 1, we still haven't had an ice track remade from the original Mario Kart game, unless you count Tour, but in a mainline game we haven't, and I think it'd just be nice to see it in HD. DS Airship Fortress, we haven't been able to play this one on the big screen yet, which is unfortunate. I'm hoping with this pack we'll be able to. It's a nice course based on SMB3, and a really fun one too. GC and Mushroom City hasn't been remade yet, but it's really fun. One of my favorites from Double Dash, and it's long overdue. Tour Singapore Speedway will start off as a Power Moon Cup, and it would be a fun one. It's actually one of my favorites from Tour. It's the most recent one as of the time of recording. I really like it. Wii DK Summit, the first Wii track added to Tour. I think that this, again, will be a winter wave, so this one would make sense, and it's a really fun one too. 3DS Mario Circuit, the only Mario Circuit we go in Peach's Castle, and that's the reason I'm adding it, along with it being in Tour and from 7, those seem to be the most likely. Calamari Desert, a good desert track. We don't have too many in the game right now, just dry desert, so I think this one would be pretty cool to add. Moving on to Wave 4, we start out with the Berry Cup, which is going to have Tour London Loop. This one will be really fun, I have to say, on the big screen. It's not my favorite in the game, but I still like the theming, and the music's pretty cool too. GBA Sunset Wilds. The GBA tracks have been getting really lit up, like Sky Garden I could barely recognize, Ribbon Road you couldn't recognize, Cheeseland looks amazing, even Mario Circuit they did some updating too. This one would be great to have. DS Yoshi Falls, it's not a great track, but this is going to be full of amazing tracks. There will be some duds in there, so I think this is one of the better duds. SNES Mario Circuit 1, if they're doing one of these, they should probably include the first ever Mario Kart track. And then we have the Boomerang Cup, which will have Tour Berlin Byways, some amazing music, a great theme based on Berlin. Wii Mushroom Gorge, I think this is guaranteed after it just got added to Tour recently. As of the time of recording, it's the most recent track to be added to Tour with the Mii's. I think this one's a guarantee. N64 Banshee Boardwalk to add more haunted tracks to the game, and it's a really fun one too. We haven't seen it since DS. In GC and Wario Coliseum, another really overdue double dash track. I really hope we see this one. It's the only 2-lap track ever, and I love playing on it. Might be one of the most difficult tracks in the game. We now have Wave 5 starting with the Feather Cup, and I think we get Tour Los Angeles laps because it'll be a summer wave once again. GC, this one would be really interesting. We haven't seen it for a while. It seems really fun. They have poison on the outside, not lava. This is just one of the most underrated Bowser Castles ever. SNES Shoko Island 2. We haven't seen a Shoko Island track remade since, I believe, the DS, other than Tour. Tour loves these tracks too, so I think this one's pretty likely. 3DS Woohoo Loop. It's the only 3DS track, along with Maka Woohoo, that's not in 8 Deluxe or Tour yet. So I think for that reason we'll probably get it, and the Miis were recently added to Tour. We're getting Switch Sports, so I think it would probably be likely. Then we have the Cherry Cup. I have Rome Raceway as a Tour track. There's no track that exists for it yet, but I think this will be what happens. Like, by the time next year, they'll have another city track, so that'll go here. N64 Wario Stadium, the last N64 track to be remade. This one's long overdue. It could be turned into a massive 1-lap track with a ton of obstacles and underwater section, and make that jump at the end a gliding section. The possibilities are endless. Wii Koopa Cape, my personal favorite Mario Kart track. I'd be really sad if this didn't happen. I think it's pretty likely too. It's a fan favorite. It'll probably be added to Tour eventually. I think this one's going to be added. DS Rainbow Road, the corkscrew could be taken to a whole another level on 8 Deluxe. So that'll be fun. It's also not my favorite Rainbow Road, but I'd love to see it. It'd be really cool to see in 8 Deluxe. And finally, our last wave, Wave 6, starting with the Acorn Cup, and we have Tour Merry Mountain. This will be like November or December 2023, so it would make sense to have this one here. GCN Daisy Cruiser. I think this will be added to Tour eventually, and then added to this. It's a fun track too. Like, there's no other track we're on a cruise ship driving around. It's just a really nice track. I love this one a lot. GBA Cheap Cheap Island. It's still basic in Tour, but I think in 8 Deluxe it could be really glowed up. Like what they did to Sky Garden was amazing. What they did to Ribbon Road, they could do the same to Cheap Cheap Island. 3DS Bowser Castle, not my favorite Bowser Castle, but it'd look really good in HD. It's a nice course to play. I'd love to see it. Tour China Wall, same thing as Rome Raceway. They'll probably have a track to put here by the time this comes out. Wii's Toad Factory. This one's a bit overdue, actually. I'm surprised it wasn't in the base game. It's a really fun one, a ton of obstacles. They could do a bit of updating to it. Now, DS Waluigi Pinball. This one, I think, is one of the top 10 most likely, actually. I have it in this one because it would be a banger to end with in the last cup. But this one's just one of the most likely. They already have the soundtrack in the game through Wario Stadium. It's in Tour. And this one just deserves to be played on the big screen. And finally, 3DS Rainbow Road. Probably the best track to end this off. It's a great climax to it, and it's probably the best Rainbow Road in history. You're on Saturn's rings, you're on the moon, everything like that. So yeah, those are my 40 tracks I'm predicting. However, I do have some honorable mentions, like SNES Ghost Valley 1 and 3, N64 Koopa Trip at Beach, Frappe Snowland, Blue Lake Broken Pier, DK Mountain, Delfino Square, Moonview Highway, Daisy Hill, Shy Guy Bazaar, Rock Mountain, and Rosalina's Ice World. I think all of those could be added too. I just didn't include them on here because these are the 40 tracks I think we'll see. And it would be really amazing too. So with that being said, I will see you guys in the next one.